signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Had ourselves a little bit of an issue with water, but we're good now, I think. By the way, that's Henry the Camel, which means it's Hump Day. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Also on our professional door text line, 391-0788. Got a lot going on today. Keon Brown joins us coming up in about half an hour. Damian Storlet, lots of news coming out of the Hokie new athletic structure. We'll talk to him about that. David Teal will further have a conversation about that. And then Todd Grantham joins us today, the defensive coordinator at UAB. Man, that's a busy, busy week. We had a lot of good shows, and we're going to continue it up here today here on the program. So good morning, everybody. I just like looking at Henry. Sometimes Henry's very kind of soothing, right? Henry the Camel, very soothing. Good morning, T-Bird. Good morning, Prometheus. What's up, Rodney Young? Good to see you. Good morning, Mr. Lester. Hope everybody is doing great. I'm always doing better when I have a chance to hang out with you. But yeah, we got another loaded show today. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll start it off with Keon, and we'll talk about the NBA Finals. I mean, it's here. Might as well talk about it. I want to legitimately try to give it a shot. I'm going to try to put away my preconceived notions, right? I'm an open-minded person. I'm going to try to go into game one. I want to sit down and say, okay, let's go, NBA. Show me what you got. Henry needs Big League Chew. Yeah, that would be a better picture, wouldn't it? Like if he had like a baseball cap on and somehow you could see the Big League Chew logo. And then he's sitting there with his chawing his cud, as they say. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. By the way, we have the finalized logo for the show with Dwight. Yeah, he approved it. He liked it a lot. So we're going to show you that. From the Sinatra song, I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are going to chime. Get me to the church. Just get Rick to the church on time. BDST is alive and kicking. I figured I'd try to do my best Sinatra bad impression to sing that. Girls, come and kiss me. Say that you'll miss me. Just get me to the church on time. We're actually doing it here at my house in the backyard because she really likes the backyard. It's fairly spacious, so we're going to do that. Yeah. How about that? Going to have immediate children on both sides here, her BFF, and got the caterer, got the wedding director. We've got a violinist, a live violinist. So we're going to do it right here in scenic Reiner, Virginia. That's how we're going to do it. And then I'm out next week, but we will have shows. So I will program shows in that will run from 6 to 8:30. I know I'm going to put the show from Monday with Marty and Rags. Maybe another show or two from this week, but probably go back a little further just to have show things the way they were. We'll figure it out. Just get somewhere on time. I figured more this was safer for me because basically I just have to roll out of bed and I'm there. It's hard to get cold feet and not go to your own house. So that's the way I'm looking at it. It's really a win-win for everybody involved. What's up, Yemen? Oh, I'm sorry. Yemen. What up, Subani? Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. But yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to see Keon. I'm going to try to see exactly path of least resistance. I'm going to see if Keon can reel me back in to get me somewhat interested at all in the NBA playoffs. I hope I can get there. I'm not counting on it, but I'm hoping I can get there. I want to watch. I haven't really watched, Wemby enough to know if he's going to be a long-standing type of star. So we're getting a lot of activity already on our professional door text line, which is great. That's why it's there. That's why Travis Williams sponsors it. So yeah. First bot down of the day. But I haven't. I mean, I know Wemby. I know his game, and I've watched him. My son's huge into the NBA, so he's already asking me, "Dad, you gonna watch some of the finals with me?" Well, I'll leave on my honeymoon, but yeah, if we're gonna watch game 1 or 2, sure. So I want to watch, and give it a chance because it's not the right mindset just to go in and predetermine that you're not going to watch. That's not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. So I will be watching. So we'll get into this. We got a lot. We got a couple really good folks who can talk about all these things regarding some of the information that came out yesterday regarding Virginia Tech, and I think it's all really good. The Hokies venture was approved by the BOV. I don't think it's a surprise. It's just nice to see it happen. It passed unanimously. Wasn't even a discussion on it. James Franklin's excited. They got a couple more recruits yesterday, too. But the big news is the BOV unanimously approved. I'm going to read this because I haven't read it enough to have it. Resolutions to affiliate with the loan funds to Hokie Ventures, setting the table for Tuesday's approval. So that's good news. It would not have been broken up this way if they didn't know it was going to pass, but still now it's official. So it's a step in the right direction and a continuing to try to correct the things that went awry in the program. Prometheus about the NBA says, I watched a couple of games over the playoffs. Only one game was competitive out of the West and East finals. The games just aren't competitive. And that's, you know what? I saw the result. And that's what bugged me about the Western Conference finals. I mean, OKC, the defending champs, right? They're not a team for the ages, and SGA is not a superstar for the ages. He may be back-to-back MVP, whatever. But if that's a championship pedigree team, you don't get blown out. You have 2 games to control the series to go play for your championship to defend your title. And you get just destroyed at San Antonio, and then you get beaten like a drum at home in Game 7. So you're not that team. Sorry. Please put cynical Rick. I like to, Chris, to be fair, I think it's more jaded Rick. Yeah, he's coming. He's going to come back. He's in town, obviously, because school's out. And he's going to come back. We're going to sit down and watch Game 1 tonight. Or at least start. I'll start out watching Game 1. That may not be something that lasts. Here's my new glass, by the way, from Wayne. That's the new BDST official drinking glass, and I'm on my water kick. No. Yep. So, but the games have been blown out. The Knicks just, I don't know what in the world was happening in the Eastern Finals. Cleveland just said, nah, we're not interested. Let's go home. But I didn't finish my open. So I'm sitting here, and I have, these glasses, they sweat a little bit, right? Thank you, Martin. I am too. It's great, isn't it? See, the light makes it look a lot more thinned out than it is. But so I set it on a paper towel. So the coaster had gotten moved, and I'm thinking Creed did it. So I put the glass. This was like right before I hit live to go. What I thought was in the center of the coaster. It's my fault for not checking. And it was just on the side, and it tilted right over on everything. So hopefully it didn't cause any long-term problems with the computer. By the way, yesterday I had a really good conversation with former Pulaski County great and head coach. He's now in Pikeview, West Virginia, Jack Turner. Jack will be on the show the week I get back from our honeymoon, and he wants to come here. He wants to do a dual. So we're looking forward to that. We're doing that. I like to use a combo. I like to make sure that the conditioner shampoo combo is it's got to be adequately balanced to make sure that, what the hair that I have, I want it treated, and I want it to be silky. So I think there's a nice even run of conditioner and shampoo, Chief, I like both. I'm getting married, So as you get married, you got to make sure that the locks you have left are. And again, see this light is not the best, so it shines right on top. So it's not as there is hair there. See. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. So in any event, Jack is doing great. So he's coaching in West Virginia. He's officially retired out of the Virginia state system. So he's collecting retirement, can no longer work in Virginia, which is why he's in West Virginia. So he makes the drive every day. And it's an interesting conversation. So we're going to have Jack in and Tony Powell and the Pulaski County Cougar Touchdown Club just had the wonderful golf tournament. I had to miss it. I was in Charlottesville with my son. So we're going to make sure I'm there. Jack said, hey, man, we missed you. We talked about you at the event, and I'm going to try to go. TP, I'm going to be there next year, and I'll do a better job of promoting it for you guys. But a lot of the former players were there to honor Coach Hicks. We're going to make sure we do all that. That'll be great. Coach Elmo, Jack Turner built a statue at Auburn High. No question. No question whatsoever. We can just – Jack is a hell of a football coach. And Pulaski County's loss was not figuring out a way to keep him employed there. It has not been the same. We had a coach that was ready to turn things around, and then that did not last long enough with Mark Dixon. So – and Jack is winning in West Virginia. He's won everywhere he's gone. And what he did at Auburn here is nothing short of a miracle. I think it had been 30 years, the late Bull Till. Everybody knows Bull Till in Reiner. Was a historian of sports, not only of people's birthdays, but of sports. And he would talk about Auburn's history. Chief, this was if you will, a local regional radio show that I moved to YouTube. So we talk about everything, obviously more focused on our region here, Southwest Virginia, the ACC, the SEC, local high school, but we talk about the NFL. We have the best NFL expert in the biz, David Smith, who you will see tomorrow if you tune in. We're talking NBA, you name it, we talk about it. We have people from all over the place. Some of the people you're going to see today are some of the best people in the field. Keon Brown, you don't want to miss him at 6:30. So give us a shot, man. Thanks for stopping by. Spread the word. Again, subscribe. You can come by anytime you want. We are a family. This isn't a place that tries to create a lot of false vibrato. We don't attack people. We share opinions. Guess what? On this program, everybody has a right to the way they feel about things. Oh, my God. Like, don't agree with this guy. Agree with yourself. We just don't – when nobody attacks anybody, nobody's going to put somebody down. We're not going to allow any kind of derogatory comments. But we don't care about your opinion in terms of if it differs. It's your opinion. We care about it. We don't get political. I don't care what people's politics are. I just care about how they treat me. Just like I try to express that with people in my life. So that's what we do. That's what we do. I have my opinions on things like politics. Sure. Sports, that's what this is. So yeah, we're a community here. We're not shock. I'm not a shock jock, I guess. Is that still a term? Shock jock? We're not like the hideous shows on ESPN. And we're not like Cowherd and all those other people that just yell people down. What's the guy's name that used to do the show with Shannon Sharp on Fox? We're not that type of crap just to get reactions and just to say the most outlandish things. And then, by the way, if you watched this program a few months ago, we told you that James Franklin would be the next football coach at Virginia Tech. I got ridiculed. I got probably 200 messages either on our old Facebook page, which got hacked, by the way. You can find it again. Yeah, no, not Stephen A. Smith. He's an older dude. I can't think of his name. Well, you know what I'm talking about. He was with Shannon Sharp on Fox, not ESPN. What was his name? Lord. People know. Come on, you know who I'm talking about. Shannon, and it was, I don't even remember the name of the show. Now it's going to drive me crazy. Skip Bayless, thank you. Skip Bayless, thank you, Prometheus. We're not like that. We're not like that. That's not what we do here on the program. But I've lost my train of thought. But nonetheless, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, we told you about James Franklin. I mean, I got lambasted. I like to go back and look at those posts. I can't now because my Facebook got hacked. But those of you who've been with the program know we predicted it, put his picture up here. And boy, I heard about it. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They'll never get James Franklin. Well, I was told. I was told that he really is likely coming to Blacksburg. So I trusted my source, and that source was Big Ten guy. I'm just going to tell you, it was Big Ten guy. He's never missed. So I rolled with it. And boom, it happened. Now, we'll never get credit for it. That's fine. I don't care. But it's an example of when we try to give you information, I don't share things unless I know they're accurate. There's a lot of stuff I hear. And there's some things I know that I can't share yet. But because I respect the confidentiality, I really respect the trust that people have in me. They know my MO since I started doing this show in 2001. And I will not violate a trust just for credit. A lot of people don't understand that, but I'm not wired that way. So when people say, hey, keep this under your belt, guess what? I do. Thanks for sharing. And then when it finally comes out, or when it's okay, if I get the A-OK, then we can start to talk about it a little more intelligently and take you through the process. And I think that's one of the reasons this show, for me, it blows my mind that this is the third reiteration of this program. Just to give you a brief history, Chief, 2001 to 2010, we were on for 10 years. We also, by the way, in 2004, we were the source credited with breaking the news that Virginia Tech had been offered an ACC bid. I owe it all to Wes Durham, who was then the voice of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. He's sitting in the meetings. He knew I had a show in the afternoon. They had just voted. He goes, Rick, I got a scoop for you. I don't know anybody else to call. Would you like to announce that Virginia Tech was just offered and accepted an ACC bid? Yes, we did. I didn't even question. It came from Wes. And the show exploded a little bit then, and we carried on. In 2010, I started full-time at Radford, had to end the show. I was ready after 10 years, maybe just to kind of take a deep breath. And it stayed dormant for 10 years. In 2020, in the middle of COVID, the new owners down in the Radford radio station group reached out. They said everywhere they went, people talked about the show. That blew my mind. Not just the community, but sponsors. Can you see if you can get Rick Watson, Big Dog, back? And we had some conversations. And I said, well, I could not do it in the afternoon because I have a job now with state benefits. But I could do it in the morning, thinking they would pass. Well, sure, let's do it in the morning. So I did that. From 20 to 2024, there were some unfortunate things that developed contractually, financially. So the show ended, and boom, that was in December of 2024. And then August of last year, we launched here on YouTube. And it has been a wonderful journey that has surprised me tremendously. Joining us now on the program, and I can just see the aura around him already.
There we go.
Bright light from the heavens. School is over for Keon Brown. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? I'm feeling good. That's how I'm doing.
I know you are. I know you are. What was that feeling like? You got through the long graduation day. You said goodbye, youngins, and how you feeling now?
Hey, man, I got this week off. I start summer school next week, but summer school ain't the same as regular school yet. Right. I'm good with summer school. I can work 8:15 to 12:45.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, those are good hours for me. And I'm teaching kindergarten for summer school this year.
Oh, well, you'll love that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I taught kindergarten my first year teaching, but the thing about kindergarten and summer school, you still got recess, you still got library, you still got lunch, you still got breakfast. That's 2 hours right there out of the 4. Knock those out. This is going to be easy money right here, man.
I love the way you've already broken it down.
Absolutely.
By the way, I was bragging about you yesterday. You showed me, I tell you, that plate of meat.
Oh, man.
That you sent me. Oh, my goodness. I almost drove to your house unannounced. Hey, I got my fork. Where are we?
Hey,
Let's
man,
go.
I think I mastered it, man. I think I got it now.
Ooh,
that was a nice, thick piece of ribeye, too. That was my end of school year ribeye.
Oh,
I think
you
it was
had it sliced so well.
Yeah, hey, man.
That was perfectly medium rare.
So what I do, absolutely. So I told you I was a medium guy. You said no, medium rare is the way to go. So what I do, I go on YouTube University and I look up these steak competitions. And I see exactly how these guys make it. They all do it the same way for the most part.
Yep.
So I said, let me copy that and see what it looks like and see what it tastes like. I'm not going back.
See, thank you.
I can't go back.
No, and you don't want to. You don't want to. All right, how did you season? How did you get it ready? I'm just always curious.
What they do and what I did, they drown it in salt, like literally covered in salt, let it sit, and then they wash it off after 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then they season it back with salt and pepper and put a little Worcestershire sauce on. I'm not trying to say that word on the air.
I know.
Worcestershire, whatever sauce.
I just call it the Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, I can't say anything.
Yeah, man. And then they put that grill, make it the highest possible temperature that they can. You sear it, put it at an angle for 2 minutes, rotate it for another 90 or another 2 minutes, and then you just flip it over for 4 minutes.
Yep.
So it's basically on 8 to 10 minutes. Let it rest for 20 minutes. Slice that thing up. Put extra butter on it. You're good to go.
I did a similar thing, man. When I was learning how to cook after my, well, I'm getting married, but this Saturday. But hey, my first divorce, I was just like, okay, I got to learn how to cook now, right?
Man.
Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
From the Food Network. You remember him? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I still watch him. They got a show on right now.
Okay. There you go. And so he was one day, I just happened to go, okay, this is the best ribeye. And I basically just do what he did. He uses Worcestershire.
Yep,
that sauce. He uses that. And that's kind of like the heartbeat of what I do. I don't saturate it. I don't let it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to bathe in it overnight. He said that can be, and I don't do that. But yeah. So it looked great. It looked great.
Oh, man. Ooh, so good.
It just looked great.
Man.
All right, so we're bringing you in game one tonight. I'm going to go into it. I've announced I'm going to try to have an open mind. I'm going to try to sit down. My son's all excited. He loves the NBA.
This is a good matchup. We talked about it a few weeks ago. We said this is the matchup that the NBA wants, the Spurs and the Knicks, and that's what we got. It's going to be so entertaining. You get Wemby, you get the aura of the Knicks, the aura of the Garden. Tickets to get into the Garden, the last possible seat at the top, $1,200. To say you were in the building. It's getting crazy out here, man.
I wouldn't do that now. I don't mind trying to watch it, but I'm not paying that.
No, there's no way. There's no way. Spurs seems like, in my opinion, if I had to pick the team to win it, I'm going to do that right now. I say Spurs in 6. They got the best player in basketball, the best defensive player in basketball that I've ever seen, pound for pound. Of course, he's not a Ben Wallace yet. He doesn't have 4 defensive player of the years. He's not a Mutombo yet. He doesn't have 4 defensive player of the years, but he's well on his way. When you see that guy play defense, he changes the game. It is crazy to see how good he is on the defensive end. Offense is still a bit raw, but he still has the talent. I think it's Wemby's world we just live in. And what I hated about the reaction to San Antonio winning, I think it was on Saturday, was how he reacted to winning when he showed all of his emotion and he was crying, and everybody had something to say about that. Give me that type of guy right there. That's who I want on my team.
100%.
If you care that much about winning and it's a problem, you're the type of person that I don't want to be around, that I don't want to have on my team.
I couldn't agree more. I don't understand.
I don't understand the hate that he got. Do you want him to be nonchalant? No. I don't understand it. I just
which is the problem. What we've talked about, these guys don't act like they care,
right?
So if he's that emotional with all the money he has and the fame, but he'll turn that off and go back and be the competitor that he is tonight.
Yes.
So, no, I'm with you 100%. I love that. I love that emotion.
He's 22 years old, and after the game, he said it. He said, "I'm not going to be the type of person who won't show his emotion just to hold it in for somebody else," and I can appreciate that. Society tries to tell us what to do. No, be your own person. Be your own person.
Right.
They act like Michael Jordan didn't show emotion. He did when they beat
my
the
gosh
Cavs on the buzzer. I think it was to close out the series in Game 6.
Oh,
when he jumped up in there, that's one of his most iconic moments.
And when he won his first title, he's in the locker room. He's got the statue bawling like a baby.
Yes,
and they're pouring champagne on him, and he's he can't believe it. And so come on.
While I think Michael Jordan's the second greatest player of all time, and I believe that, and I do.
I know you do.
What I love about that guy is how competitive he was. I mean,
there's no question.
Like he competed at the highest level every single time. And those are the people that you want, the people that take the game seriously, the people that are going to train in the offseason, the people who aren't going to cheat the game. I just don't get it. I just don't.
I know. And I feel like the whole league is cheating the game right now. Right. So that's right. That's a great way to put it.
And when you have a guy who's 22 years old, who's the young star, and the guy who's about to be 42 years old going into year 24, and they're your hardest working people in the NBA, there's the problem there.
Problem. You got a problem.
There's your problem. But hey, I digress. It's going to be a great series, though.
I hope, because we didn't get a competitive Eastern Conference Finals at all. And what OKC folding up like a tent, they're not an all-time team. SGA's a fraud. That whole thing, you had a chance to win Game 6 at home. I mean, on the road, you get blown out, and you come back home and you get blown out. I mean, that team, and that league, that's why I just went into it like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Man. And there's a lot of parity in the NBA. It hasn't been a back-to-back champion since the Golden State Warriors in 17 and 18. So every year there's a new team rearing its head, and what you get, and you're going to get it again this year, is whoever wins the championship, people going to just jump on the bandwagon and say that's who's going to win it next year. They do it every single year.
Every year.
The new NBA is showing you that every year could be your year. There's a new team going on almost a decade now, so we'll see. I got the Spurs, though. Spurs won their first championship since 2014. Knicks lose. Knicks need another piece, and I think that other piece might be the guy who I believe is the best basketball player ever in the history, and that's LeBron James. I could see him going there. I really could. That's the piece that they're missing, just that one guy that's like a tweener at the three, like an upgrade from OG Anunoby. That's what I think they're missing.
Yeah. Well,
he's really good.
I just want it to be competitive.
I think it will.
I just don't want to see blowouts. We need a good series, a competitive series.
Yeah. I think that's what we'll get. I really do. The Knicks are playing historic basketball right now on the defensive end. They're shooting the leather off of the basketball and have done the whole playoffs. It's crazy how they went from tied 2-2 in round one versus Atlanta, and everybody's panicking, saying the whole roster needs to be reconstructed. The whole front office needs to be fired. The coach needs to be fired in year one. And then you look a month and a half, 2 months later, and they're the hottest team in the NBA, making it to the NBA Finals, and all that has changed. That's where we are now with the New York Knicks. Guys, and we got experts, quote-unquote experts on TV telling us, what they think we want to know. Guys, giving guys the boot already, and now 2 months later, they act like they didn't say it. That's what we can talk about on TV now.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you come to BDST to hear the truth.
Exactly. The chat's giving you a hard time about LeBron again.
They can give it to me. This is the truth. This is the whole truth.
Oh, my God, Chris Lester says, they have LeBron go to New York and lose. We'll seal the deal on him being number 2 forever. I don't think he's even number 2, but that's okay.
Oh gosh. So now you're in the minority. I'm in the minority saying he's number 1, and you're in the minority saying he's number 2.
I think Kareem is the same. I agree with Mike Jones. I think Kareem. Mike Jones will tell you he thinks Kareem's the best player.
Yeah, he thinks Kareem's the best.
He loves Kareem.
Yeah, man.
Because I think he met him. A couple of times.
Probably.
So yeah. What's up, Reggie? Yeah, Skip Bayless. Yeah, Skip. If somebody was asking, I couldn't remember that moron's name. The shock,
Rage bait.
Yeah, rage bait. That's
so I will say this about Skip Bayless. He is the reason sports debate shows, sports hot topics, hot takes are what they are today. He was the first person to go against LeBron when he was 18 years old, saying he's not going to be good, and he's ridden that wave, rode his coattail for 23 years. Now he's saying Victor Wembanyama isn't that good. So it's just rage bait. He's the guy who said Tim Tebow was a bigger draw than Kobe Bryant when Kobe was in his prime. He's the guy who said Johnny Manziel would be a bigger star in Cleveland than LeBron James. This is what we get, and this is the result of a guy like a Skip Bayless. Hot take, the world that we live in right now in sports. It's 100% because of him. He has influenced what is going on in sports today as far as the media. It is him.
And that didn't say much, though. I mean, he didn't have any credibility. People don't take him seriously. And I don't watch that crap. Do you sit down and watch that stuff? I can't imagine.
Do not watch it. He's not on TV anymore. That's why he's not.
But even ESPN, that's what ESPN's turned into. That's all they do. That's what Stephen A. Smith is.
Well, that's what the world is. Rage bait. How can I piss you off to get you to respond to what I'm saying?
They don't believe 3/4 of what they're saying, but you're right. That they're just playing a role. And, we had Stephen A. on back in the day, first run of the show, and he said that I play a character.
Yeah.
And he does. He admitted it. He's just acting. He's just playing a character. So none of it's legitimate. So, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I just want good games. I just want to be able to sit down and go, okay, these are guys fighting. These are guys that remind me of the league that I used to love and watch guys who brought it every night. As Wayne said, didn't need load management. Michael Jordan didn't need to play any less than 82 games. I mean, I want to see that kind of passion toward trying to win a freaking title. The Knicks hadn't won one. What? Since the 70s.
Right. but the two teams that give you what you're asking for are the two teams that we got. And that's what makes me so excited.
Yeah.
Two teams that can lock you down defensively. Two teams that play really good offensive basketball, that share it, that take great shots, not too many dumb shot takers between the two teams. So I think we're getting the best possible series that we could. I think that out of the East, you could not have went wrong with a healthy Boston Celtics teams with Jason Tatum or the Knicks team that we got. And in the West, I think we got the best team that we could possibly ask for in the Spurs. A young superstar, a lot of smart surrounding role players, young guys who have won in college and have now come to the NBA and brought that winning culture. This is what we have here, man. I think we got one of the best matchups we'll see in a while.
Do you think, and I know they're counting on it, do you think the ratings will reveal, okay, here we are. We've got New York, the biggest media market.
That's why right there. That's all you got to say.
Do you think it'll go up? You think it'll go
no
up?
Doubt about it. Just because of the Knicks. It's just because of them. The ratings are going to be crazy for this. They've been waiting for this forever.
They have. I mean, it's been a long time. The Rockets, I think, was the last time they were in the finals when the Rockets beat them in Hakeem's first title?
It was actually a rematch of this year's finals in 99.
99, okay.
Yeah, Tim Duncan's first championship.
Okay, so they got back in 99 and haven't been back until this one?
They haven't. And I even believe, off the top of my head, I think they were an 8 seed. I think they were.
That sounds right for some of that run they made. Yeah.
That was the Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell team.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. And then the Spurs just said no.
Of course. They had David Robinson, Tim Duncan. There was nothing you can do about that.
And that was a great team. I mean, I loved watching that team. The Spurs.
Yes.
Tony Parker and Ginobili and
they weren't there yet. They weren't there at that point.
Well, even in like the 2000s, that team was so much fun to watch when they all got together and they just kept coming back and winning.
I think it was because of who they played against. They had a born brand of basketball. It was a brand of basketball that guys over here weren't used to because they played that European style. But I love Tim Duncan, so I could watch him play all day. You talking about a beautiful game? That was Tim Duncan in the post.
Yeah, it was. Best power forward ever.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Right? I mean, I don't think that's a debate.
Yeah,
that guy. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I might have to mute the TV. I don't know who's calling the games.
I'm not sure.
It's on that network. If it's Mike Breen, it'll be okay.
I think it is Mike Breen.
Is it Mike Breen? If it's Mike Breen, I can listen. Okay.
Yeah, because it's ABC, so I think it is.
I have to go through and find out who's doing these games now. Let's go. Okay. Click. Don't want to hear it. Don't need to hear it.
Mike Breen works for the Knicks when he's not.
He does. I know. How are they going to get a non-biased broadcast? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. He works for MSG, doesn't he?
Yes.
That guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Does it open? Where's it open? Is it open? Where's it open?
In San Antonio. San Antonio came 2 wins off of getting the #1 overall seed. Okay. But since the Knicks were the 3 or 4 seed. I think they were the 3 seed. They had the worst record, so it goes to the Spurs.
Okay, all right. Now you're getting a hard time from Wayne about Space Jam.
What's Wayne saying about Space Jam? So look, I was thinking about this too. LeBron got a lot of flack from Space Jam, but listen to this. I was watching it last week. He was only on screen for the first 13 minutes. And then it was all cartoon after that. I was like, oh, no, I think some people are just hating now. I'm going to throw that out there now. He was on there for literally about 13 minutes, and then he turned into a cartoon for the next hour.
I wonder how long Jordan was. Jordan
was never a cartoon.
But I mean, I wonder how long he was on there for the first one. I don't know.
He was on there for a long time.
He like the main? Okay.
Yeah, he was.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
So. Had Bill Murray, didn't it? Wasn't Bill Murray in Space Jam?
Bill Murray was on there, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's been a long time. What does he say? Prometheus says, watching an 8-foot tall player is not very good looking, in my opinion. Wendy just doesn't look good to watch. He needs to gain weight.
Oh, gosh, I disagree. Who said that?
Prometheus.
Let me stay away from whatever he's drinking this morning.
How tall is Wimby?
I think he's about 7'5".
Jeez, can you imagine?
He's Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant had a baby. That's what he is. That's exactly what he is.
How's that guy collapsed, by the way? What in the world happened to Giannis?
Yeah, Giannis is out of there. He's trying to get his way out of Milwaukee.
He's just disappeared.
I can see him going to Oklahoma City now because of how awful Chet Holmgren was in the Western Conference Finals.
Jeez.
I can see Chet being on the trade block and Giannis making his way with all of those picks they got. They got the 12th pick and 17th pick this year. They've got another 2 first-round picks next year. I can see them moving them, man.
You're an NFL guy. What do you think when you see the Rams get a guy like Myles Garrett, yet people trying to say the Browns won the trade?
Uh-oh. That's what I see. I think we play the Rams this year. That's what I see. Golly.
Myles Garrett. He's the modern day Lawrence Taylor.
He's that
guy.
He's unbelievable.
I know it's a different position, but he's that dominant to me. And
it's unbelievable that he's that good, and the Browns are so bad they're always playing catch up. And he's still getting all these sacks.
I know. He's one guy. I know. He's the only guy that they tried to stop, and nobody could stop him. And now he's going to the Rams. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, gosh. I think we play those guys this year.
Yeah, so do we.
Let me make sure that's the game I don't go to.
Yeah, just got to let that one go. We won't watch that one.
Yeah. Last year, we went to the Giants game, home opener. That was great, except the 6 drop passes the wide receivers had. We led the NFL in drop passes a year ago. Then I'm like, all right, let's go to the next game. The next game was embarrassing. It was Detroit. And then the game after that was even more embarrassing. It was versus Seattle. We were down 33-34 in the second quarter. Sunday Night Football, they retire Art Monk's number. So it was sold out. And then we get embarrassed and blitzed out of the building. Hopefully we get a better year than we had last year.
Well, I hear Daniels is healthy. He's going to be ready to go.
So, well, I hope so. They didn't give him much help at wide receiver in the offseason. That's the problem right there. Give him some weapons. Got a pretty good tight end from the offseason, but man.
I hope his career, because you know how high I was and still am on him. I'm hoping we're not talking about a guy who could just never stay healthy. So therefore we didn't get to see him.
Or I hope we don't get another CJ Stroud where you just have a great first year and you just tail off. But when Jaden played last year, he was really good. Yeah, except that Seattle game. Right. That was awful. He was really bad in that. But you know, you have your ups and downs in the season, but he was in the Green Bay game too, he was bad. So those are the only 2 games that he played last year that he was real bad.
That's a good call on Stroud because he was one of my guys too.
Yeah, he was your guy.
He has happened? What happened?
Oh man.
Football's hard. NFL's hard.
If he plays like he did his first year with the defense that they have in Houston, you can look at those guys potential Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, this is probably his last shot.
Yeah.
This is probably his last shot to say, I'm the guy down here. Because if they fall short and it's because he didn't play well with what you're saying with that defense, they're gonna make a move. You watch.
On the playoffs, I think he had 4 or 5 interceptions or something.
Oh, he was terrible. Yeah, he looked
man.
He looked like he'd never played the game before.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We're right around the corner from the NFL draft. NBA drafts coming up, but then NFL's here.
I know. Camps will be opening up. It's bizarre. It is how it all kind of ties together. When do you start summer school?
Next Monday.
Next Monday. Okay.
Monday through Thursday. It's 16 days total.
He's already got another countdown.
Oh, absolutely. We know about it.
Well, how much time are you going to have after summer before you start again? You have about a month. Okay.
Got it down to a science, buddy.
Are you going anywhere? Y'all just going to chill, take a deep breath?
Me and my wife are going to the 757 at the end of June. There's a quote-unquote jazz festival, but there's all R&B people.
Oh, okay.
It's the Isley Brothers, Charlie Wilson.
Oh, come on.
Jodeci's going to be there. El DeBarge is going to be there.
Jodeci, wow. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, man. Kirk Franklin's going to be. It's going to be a good lineup. I really want to see
Kirk Franklin, really?
Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Some good ones. Drew Hill's going to be there. Jagged Edge. I'm excited to see Charlie Wilson.
Yeah.
And DeBarge.
Is it El DeBarge? Is it
yes,
the whole?
El DeBarge.
It's everybody? Okay.
It's just El DeBarge, yeah.
Just to have. Okay. Well, good, man. That'll be fun. That's a hell of a. That's a great lineup.
That's a great lineup. I was watching Last Dragon the other day, and they had the DeBarge Rhythm of the Night on there. Last Dragon.
Were you grooving? Will you dance? Will you groove? Will you be out there dancing?
No doubt about it.
Okay. I'd kind of like to see that.
Love DeBarge. Can't get enough.
I would like to have video footage of KB.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time.
Dancing to feel the rhythm of the night.
Yeah, we're gonna drop the baby off with grandma.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you've earned it.
Yeah, man.
Well, enjoy game one. I know you will.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see how it goes.
Is this team getting on campus at Radford?
Yeah, I think it starts the week I'm gone. I think it starts next week when I'm on my honeymoon. I think it's next week.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
You enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll have
yourself, buddy.
Huh? Do what?
Yourself.
Hey, prepared. I'm getting older.
There you go.
We will. We'll have older shows next week, so I won't bother you next week.
Yeah,
we won't be live next week.
All right, I got you.
All right, brother. Well, listen, have a good time, man, and we'll talk here in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Appreciate it,
man. Take care of yourself. You too, man. There you go. Keon Brown joining us on the program. Yeah, that meat plate was outstanding. I almost said the meat plate was well done, but that would have totally been wrong because obviously it wasn't well done. It was medium rare. Yeah, this is it for CJ. Agreed, Chris. Keon is calendar counting for the summer. He does have an old music soul. Everything about Keon Brown is correct, except for the Michael Jordan LeBron opinion. What is KB's? I wish I'd have shown him that one, T-Bird. What is his best dance move? The flop. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294. Reach out to them or email them at familyfencingnrb.com. Get a quote. They are awesome. Business is booming. Glad. Hope we've helped be a small part of that here on the program. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive. Great guy and a great doctor. He'll get you fixed up, man. He's got a brand new big building. He's got all the latest technology. And I'm telling you, when I get back, the week after I'm back, maybe the week I'm going to take some time off when I get back. I'm going to go over there. We're going to film me finally going through the gauntlet. We'll have it on the channel. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Thanks to Tim Miller and Jonathan Sweet. Little River Heating and Air, locally here in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. You won't find anybody better than at Heating and Air than Little River. They are customer savvy. BDST fan question of the week, brought to you by the attorney Ryan Pry, 701 West Main Street. I stayed with it. Who won the trade? And the Rams have 23 votes. The Browns have 8. I like to think I've influenced that a little bit. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this program. Of course, I refinanced to them. I've told you about it. They made it easy. They're very nice. If you're looking to be frustrated with your bank, you don't like the rates, whatever it might be, go to National Bank. Travis Williams up in Dublin, Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors. They are about here in July. Start year number 39 in business. Business his father started. We're going to have some good information about that coming up with him. ReadySetFund.com, Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Everything we're talking about here, just to help improve your life, man. all these wonderful sponsors. Floyd County raised $4,300 for its softball team this year. They raised $4,000 the year before using the series of text messages. Sundown Electric in Elliston, the Smith brothers, talking about continuing what their dad built. You're not going to find a more reputable business around. I mean, they have 100% 5-star ratings. Go look. It's crazy. Superior craftsmanship. They're very honest. They try to keep pricing down. Reach out to Sundown Electric. The NRB Super Bowl, 540-382-5525. We're going to have our bash there. Midnight Madness is there. It looks like an amusement park. We're going to have Midnight Madness going when we're there. We're going to have the lights out. We're going to have boogie balling. We're going to have disco balls going. We're going to have the lights. We may have the Bee Gees out there. Wayne, Olivia Newton-John songs. We're going to have everything. And Morris is buying everyone's drinks. And Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. It's 1997, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg, 540-381-8011. Browns, the Browns have got back on the board with a 2-point conversion with the 8. I saw more people trying to defend the Browns yesterday. Look, hey, everybody has a right to their opinion. I just think that opinion's wrong. Morris, what? Who? What? I just threw that out there, Morris. I figure, Oh, yeah, Xanadu. And by the way, Olivia Newton-John, how do you say this modern times without getting in any kind of trouble? The good Lord took a lot of time when he created Olivia Newton-John. But in that Xanadu video, if people don't know what in the hell I'm talking about. Morris says, I said 2 drink tickets, but after 2 drinks, I could be encouraged. Exactly. If you go watch on YouTube the Xanadu video, I don't think, Wayne, you have more of a history with Olivia. But I don't know if she's ever looked any better than she did in that video. Now, I know that, yeah. Your thoughts, Wayne. Liquid encouragement is powerful. Have you never been mellow? Have you never tried? I remember that song. From my very young childhood. I remember this. I saw a video a while back. It was a group of female artists. And they had Olivia was there with Tony Tennille. Tony Tennille. Remember the Captain Tennille? Whew. She was cold, yes. Wayne says, my favorite, I like the movie and not for the storyline. There we go. Everybody knows Selma Hayek's my all-timer. All right. Well, my, soon-to-be wife, There's a pecking order that I have to. Susanna Hoffs of the Bengals, the 1A. Monica Bocelli. But, yeah, Olivia Newton-John and, yeah. David Teal and Todd Grantham a little bit later. Damian Sordelet in just a little bit. We'll follow up on all the tech news that came out yesterday. He's been covering it, I know very well. Good news. I don't think anything earth-shattering, but it's nice to know things are now official. James Franklin, 100% on board. Very excited. And it follows up what Jay Pearson said. We need more. We don't have enough. We need more. We've already fallen behind. Well, this hopefully will take care of that. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. Yeah, I got to get that pecking order right, Chris. You're right. 100%. 100%. Damian Sordelette joins us right now. He is the Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Times. What's up, DS? Good to see you, man.
Morning. Glad my job description now includes spending time listening to the BOV.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you enjoy that? Yay!
I wasn't like David Cunningham, who on the first day went to every committee meeting. I just showed up for the athletics committee and then the finance and resource, since the athletics committee met jointly with them. And then, that was fun, and a lot of Jay Pearson saying speeds of the essence, and boy, was he sickening motions as fast as he could yesterday.
Second. Okay, we're done. They said they didn't even vote. Everybody was just, yeah, more money.
Yeah, they voted. I mean, they voted both times. It just seemed like the board realizes they need to keep saying yes right now, because right now, what is it? Franklin's undefeated and recruiting's going well, so might as well keep it up. But Teal wrote a great column after yesterday's vote. The onus is on James Franklin to win. They're not giving him all this money, and they're not pouring all these resources in for Tech to go 7-5 in the regular season.
Well, this is true.
They're going to have to win games. So now is the onus to put some wins on the field. That's for sure.
And do you think that's a great point? And do you think that's changed the expectation a little bit even this year? It may not be realistic, but we don't live in a realistic world much of the time. But now, like you're just saying, if it's 7-5, are people going to immediately step back and go, hey, that's all, right? It may not be fair, but that's true. That's true.
Yeah. You're going to have people who are donating money that are going to point to Indiana and say, Cignetti won 11 games his first year.
With nothing. In the Big Ten.
Yeah, with a bunch of James Madison players who you listen to the College Game Day crew and they say, oh, they play against these big boys, they're going to get hurt.
Well, it's because Game Day doesn't know their rear end from a hole in the ground. That's why.
Exactly. The onus is on to win. And I saw some people reporting that because of the creation of Hokie Ventures, there's going to be the largest donation in Virginia Tech athletics history that's coming down the pipeline. They said it could be $50 million plus. So,
will it all go to Hokie Ventures? Is that what just be donated right to?
Well, if it's a donation, that's the Hokie Club. That's the philanthropic side of things.
And then they can disperse it, however they want.
They can. So if you want to look at it, I think Amy Sebring did a really good job. The university CEO did a really good job of explaining this on Monday, that Hokie Club is essentially the philanthropic arm of the athletic department. Hokie Ventures is essentially going to focus on the business and corporate angles of bringing in money, which had fallen under the purview of the athletic director, because that's the face, and you're going to be the one who reaches out. So this essentially, like we discussed last week, this is essentially taking that responsibility off the AD and giving it to someone who is good at going to get money. So now you have someone who can go look for the on-field sponsorships at Lane Stadium that you saw some big programs have last year. You can look for jersey patches for any and every team if you want. You can look for the advertisement that you see on the side of helmets and MLB. You can do that for baseball and softball. Just find other revenue streams, because they made it perfectly clear that the current revenue streams that they have coming in through fundraising with Hokie Club, through your payouts from the ACC, just aren't enough. You have to find new ways to bring in money. Brandon Hall knows this from how he helped set up Clemson Ventures.
Yeah, 100%.
They said this is going to be very similar to Clemson Ventures. Probably not like the blue and gold enterprise that West Virginia has or what Kentucky has. So I think it'll be similar, and then it'll probably take a year or two for them to staff out Hokie Ventures. So I think for the initial time period, especially with this $15.2 million loan going to them, they don't want to have double the people working. So you would see probably on the creative side, you'd see them use some from currently employed by Virginia Tech Athletics. But if it gets to a point where it gets big and it's bringing in money, then you'll branch out and hire different people. So you'll have a CEO. You'll probably have someone working for that CEO initially in Hokie Ventures. And then if the money keeps coming in, they'll start adding more to that staff.
It's going to be a hard swallow, for fans, for me, maybe even for you. But this is the professional model that is now is no longer collegiate sports, no longer an amateur. Just throw out that word. This is just embracing the inevitable. Professionalism is here forever now in college athletics. It's never going to go back.
Yeah.
It's never.
And when Megan Duffy brought up that in women's basketball, if you want a championship level roster
10 to 12
with rev share and NIL, she says between $8 million to $10 million
for a sport that loses money annually.
Yeah. And if that's the case, men's basketball and football dwarf that. So she used that as an example, and I think you kind of looked over at the board, and they were like, some of them had their eyes wide open at that revelation. And it's like, okay, well, you need to find money. I mean, their eyes weren't as wide open as when they were told it would be an initial investment of 15 to 16 million to upgrade the Wi-Fi at Lane Stadium.
Yeah, that's going to that got tabled pretty quick, didn't it?
Oh yeah, that. So Amy Sebring said that the total cost of that would probably be about $21.8 million. So it's either you'd have this at that coming year, and then you get rid of your rev share payments, which is $21.3 million. And I think they're like, we will do the rev share, and we will kick the bucket on Wi-Fi, upgrading the Wi-Fi at Lane Stadium for another year. And it's not as easy as putting up as another cell tower.
No.
You have to go through, when I worked in Lynchburg and covered Liberty, I saw them do this. You have to go through each row, and underneath the seats, you have to install multiple boxes.
It's a network, yeah.
The network. And I know Williams Stadium only seats 25,000, but you can do Wi-Fi calling there. You can surf the web while you're there at the game. And I know that was a pretty expensive project. So I know it's going to be double what Virginia Tech's going to have to do.
Well, I think fans, if they start winning football games, fans will go, you know what? I couldn't get my signal out for 4 hours, but who cares?
Yeah, if they're putting on a winning product, you're not going to be staring at your phone thinking, oh,
yeah, right.
Like looking at Google or Apple Maps and be like, all right, so what's the traffic look like to get out of here? Do I need to leave now or do I need to leave later?
Well, Wayne asked, how much do the LED lights cost? There's the Wi-Fi is so absurd at Lane and Castle.
$2.4 million for the LED lights.
Okay, well they could do that.
Oh, that's what they're doing. All
they
the
are
old
doing
lights,
those, right.
All the old lights have been taken out, and they'll be replaced with LEDs. The video board, which is already going to be replaced, was 4.9. You are going to get the insurance claim for the skydiver incident, so that'll help offset some costs. And after I left the board meeting, I didn't stay for the open session that started at 3.
Yeah,
I went by and looked at Merriman, and they're doing some work over there. And that's part of the work that the Board of Visitors is going to get a walkthrough of that in August to see what the progress is on that.
Yeah, when I did the moderation with James Franklin last Thursday over here at the Chamber event, he called it a war zone. It looks like Merriman looks, but hey, to make progress, you have to, make things look a certain way. And he has a definite idea what it's supposed to look like. So you're right. And just meeting him briefly, like I did for, about 45 minutes, he he's asking for a lot of heat. He's asking for a lot of things, but he's not going to be the kind of guy that's going to shy away from that. But you're right. He is going to have to produce, right? He's going to have to live up to the expectation. He won a lot at Penn State. He did not live up to that expectation. And at Penn State, it's a little different. They're blue blood. He got him on the cusp a couple of years ago. He did, but they never could climb the hump. So he's got that, in which he talked about to the group of business leaders. That chip on his shoulder comes from that. So this could be everything coming together exactly at the right time with the right guy for the moment, right? That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And he's won. I mean, he won at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt wasn't known for winning.
No,
so,
they didn't. No, but he admitted they had resources. He had to do the same type of thing. He had to kind of, okay, yeah, I'm here. Let's if you want this thing to be serious, we got to do some things, right? So
yeah, but at least Virginia Tech had put that plan in motion before he got here. Because if he had to do it all from scratch, I don't know how many BOV meetings you had in between his hiring and where we started, and I don't know if you could have hit the ground running like he did without the financial resources behind him. So
yeah.
At least, like I said about Witt's swan song, getting the money for all this, it's looking pretty good right now. And he was on the subcommittee that looked into creating Hokie Ventures. So, Witt worked behind the scenes to get a lot of this stuff in motion that, could have some massive benefits for this athletic department.
Well, I think there's a lot of positions that are still up for grabs. The new rector was named, right? I saw that whole thing kind of happened suddenly last Thursday. I wonder if maybe the way the time got shortened for the event last Thursday, he was just in Richmond Wednesday night a week ago. I wonder if the news kind of broke what was going to happen to Rakovich, and he kind of got wind of that because it was a little different vibe. And then everything happened there. 3 out of the 4 people in that picture with him are gone. He's the only one remaining now. So, what do you think? The new rector? I mean, he's going to hire the AD. They can put the committee forth all they want to, but he and Jay Pearson are going to be the only 2 guys to have the voice for the AD. I have no doubt.
I'll say this: Jim Miller was during Monday's committee meeting was the one asking the questions to Amy Sebring. He was trying to make sure no stone was left unturned. He and Nancy, he voted for the $22.9 million, $229.2 million. Nancy Dye, who's the vice rector, was the lone dissenting vote in that. So I think that's a check and balance there that they had for terms of rector, vice rector. Miller's going to go all in, and Dye is probably going to be the one who says, pump the brakes, let's look at this. So, but again, there's alignment there. It seems like Miller knows what he's doing. For what it's worth, it's a Youngkin appointee who's now going to be the rector, and a Youngkin appointee who was vice rector. I don't think they looked at politics at all when it came to this. They looked at people who can help move this university forward. And I think they're both on the same page, and that's going to help in terms of hiring the AD. Yeah, I think Miller's going to help oversee it because the time frame for hiring the AD is much shorter than hiring the president.
Yep.
And I've also heard that Rakovich might have stepped too close to the sun because he's trying to ram through a president nominee very quickly.
Well, there was going to be spin on that. I mean, there was going to be, however that went down, they were going to tell you things that, one thing we know about political decisions, the explanation for 98% of them on either side is not legitimate. So,
yeah,
but yeah, that kind of shocked some people, especially because, he was such a proponent for James Franklin, and he had kind of been the guy. And nobody's doubting how much he loves Virginia Tech. And everybody was thinking, would he show up at the board meeting? No, he wasn't going to show up. No. He wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to do anything to upstage the university that he loves. So,
well, his term at rector is ending. It was going to end anyway. So, I mean, he had 1 more year deal left on the board. I mean, is he going to try to get back on the board for another year? At this point, if Virginia Tech's moving forward in the direction, and they approved everything that I think he had helped worked on, I mean, minus changing the bylaws for how long you can serve as rector or vice rector. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everything they worked for got approved. So, I mean, that's a good sign.
It was called a metamorphosis. Tim Sands on the way out said, "We all have a metamorphosis of Tech athletics." Makes you wonder, okay, you were there for a long time in power. So it was with Babcock. Why did you sit on your hands for so long until it became to the point you had to do something? And now that things are happening, you're trying to take a lot of credit for that. That's kind of the way that comes across. It feels like it's always been achievable, yet now here it's coming, right?
Yeah, I agree. Metamorphosis, new president, new AD, new executive director of the Hokie Club. You have to hire a new CEO for Hokie Ventures. The rector's on board, so that's a new guy, like you mentioned, Jim Miller. So, like, again, from athletic standpoint and the alignment that James Franklin has talked about quite a bit, like, that's going to be brand new. And Tim Sands did say it was for Virginia Tech Athletics that is going through a metamorphosis, because you're getting a load of money. You have new people calling the shots. You're creating these new ventures to try to bring in more capital. It is different. They're going from the model of this is college sports. These are about the student athletes to, like you said, very, very elegantly, this is pro sports model.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we are. It's not going back. There's not going to be legislation. This thing from the government's not going to go through. SEC and the Big Ten have already put out their statement yesterday. They're not going to support this. That's all you needed to hear. Although the SEC is still standing on their island about the 2014 playoff. Eventually, people believe that's not going to maintain itself because they don't even have a vote. They're split down the middle at the very least. And people say it's in favor, actually, the ADs and the presidents for the 2014 playoff in their own league. So Sankey and them say, we didn't vote on it, but eventually they'll join the other three leagues, right? I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah. It's going to happen, and they'll still do the model of every bid's at large minus the one group of five. And I'm not a proponent of that. I want to value the regular season, which means I want league champions from every league to get in. And then that means you have 14 at larges, and you're fighting to be one of those teams. That seems a lot better than trying to stack the deck and saying we're the best league. We should have 7 or 8 teams. And I'm just like, most years your 5th or 6th team's not very good.
Yeah.
So
what is it? I know you did. You saw the playoff TV schedule, right? The 10 games. And people were speculating because ESPN only has 5 of those. Disney, they only have 5 of those. 5. Did they sell? People are saying, did they sell 2 of those? Didn't they have 7, the rights to 7? Did they sell those? And then people are saying, the biggest reason that ESPN's against this is because they didn't have the money to bid on this after that $1 billion contract. What was it, $2 billion contract kicked in for the NBA?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I'm just asking. It was interesting because I thought they had 7 games and they only have 5. They only have half the schedule.
Yeah. So what they did last year was they allowed TNT to broadcast the games, but it was an ESPN production. Seems like, I guess that might be the case, unless
I don't know. I don't know.
I know Turner is making an investment into football because they're probably going to work with CBS because they have, you have the Big Ten gets its CBS slot, but you have the Pac-12, you have the Mountain West. I think that's it. They have a few others, but you're getting more games now on this network. So this might be a case where ESPN's like, hey, we'll sell you the rights to broadcast these games, but we'll still.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be the same way. Yeah,
that could be the case, and then you have your ESPN crew doing it. Because I remember last year you had like Joe Tessitore was calling the Ole Miss Tulane game that was on TNT, I believe, and then you had another ESPN crew calling the game on the James Madison Oregon game, and that was on TNT. It's probably the same bet. just to make sure, if Turner's willing to shell over some money to have the rights to these games, but ESPN's still doing it, I mean, why not? Like you said, if there's money issues, why not say, all right, we'll let you do this, we'll produce it, we'll give you the...
Yeah. I don't know. People are wondering. I thought that was a strange look, but you're right. If they're producing it and they're still getting, maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But it looked like it had been turned over to the other network. So I don't know.
We'll see. Like when we get closer to that, and they say if you have a Turner broadcast crew calling that game,
that's when.
That's when. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if
because
you see some of the guys, yeah.
I haven't seen any reporting that says ESPN just sold them these games to get out of the contract for these games. It could be, hey, you can broadcast them, we'll produce it and do similar to what we did last year. So
yeah. Well, it's going to be a fascinating watch. It really is. It really is. So I won't be here next week. I'll be on my honeymoon, so we won't bother you next week. Just to give you a heads up.
And the following week, I'm on vacation. So
you're on vacation next week. Yeah. What are we gonna do? Can I just like text you, send you emails? Hey, you okay?
You got my number. Feel free to reach out.
So we'll see. I guess we'll have you back in a couple weeks then. 2 weeks down the road, 3 weeks.
Yeah, like the 24th or something. So 3 weeks from now.
There you go. Where are you going? Where are you going on vacation?
Well, my wife's still in school. She's getting her certificate for her master's, so she can do some central office stuff and teaching. So
sweet.
It will be hitting up the golf courses.
There you go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, it's the following week. It's the week of the 24th. I'm on vacation.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be here the week of the 17th. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we get a chance.
But no, I've already planned out golf courses. Hitting up some golf courses.
Does she golf, or she just let you do?
No, brother-in-law is gonna hit up some golf courses. We hadn't golfed this year, so hit up like Ashley or some other courses. And
you pretty good on the links?
No.
When you hear the horse snort, no, you're not.
No, if I can get into the 90s, I'll be happy.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah. You keep it out of triple digits.
Yeah.
You got to be just thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Well, have a great time. We'll talk to you when I get back. So.
Oh yeah, enjoy your honeymoon and.
Thank you. Emerald Island, we're going there. You ever been there?
No, I haven't, but enjoy it.
People like it. Yeah, they say it's a good spot. So we'll see. As long as they have great seafood, I'll be happy. And I'm sure they will.
And no rain.
And I think it's already supposed to rain at least the first 3 days. That's all right. All right, brother. Great stuff, man. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks before you leave for vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you then.
All right, man. Be good. There you go.
You too.
Dave Minnesota, let Jody get on the program. Good stuff. Can you drink beer and ride in a car? Enough said. Good stuff from Damien. David Teal coming up in about 20 minutes. Yeah, let's get it. Let's have some honest conversation here. Let's have some opinions. So we know tech, and I'm getting away from all the money stuff because I'm looking at 2026. The talent level is better. Chris, you're right. I'm watching what you're posting. I think Ethan Grunkemeyer is going to be outstanding. I have some questions about the offensive line. I think everybody should. I think the running game has all the potential in the world. I think the kid they added from Iowa State, is that where he's from? I think he's going to be a guy that can maybe be an X factor out of that backfield, a little change of pace with the main two. I think the receivers they're not massive names. We know the slot guy from Duke, what's his name, Brown, he's going to be terrific. He already has shown how fast he is. He's going to be very reliable. Tight ends are deep. I think Reynolds has a chance to be an all-ACC guy on paper if he continues his trajectory. I like it a lot. I don't know about the offensive line. And Chris, you mentioned toughness, and I think you hit on something that I've been telling people. Ask me, I don't know about this defense because I just don't know enough about how it's going to look. I know it's the same thing. They've added depth. They've added some guys. And I go back to something that Coach Foster said at the Blacksburg Sports Club. And again, it was just something that he had said just talking about it. And I don't think anybody knows defensive football any better than Bud Foster. In the way he worded it, he goes, he's got guys who look great. The look, as soon as you see that defense, you're going to go, wow, that doesn't look like the last couple of years. And Chris, I think you can attest to that too. You know, you've seen the guys up close. But he said, now the job is, and James Franklin said this last Thursday, not in as a direct manner, but he said, now he's got to find him real football players. Not just guys who look good in a uniform. And he said, in this scheme, he goes, it'll be interesting to see how this scheme develops. You can kind of read between the lines a little bit that Coach Foster has some questions about those two things connecting. James Franklin, one of the first things he said last Thursday was, we got a lot of work to do. We've got a long way to go defensively. And he stopped right there. He didn't get – so I have questions. And I have questions because Brent Pry is the coordinator. And I know people are saying, well, now he can focus just on being the defensive coordinator. Okay. He was leading the defense even though Coach Marv was the defensive coordinator. This was his defense. It's not like all of a sudden he just turned the reins over. He felt like he had to, or maybe he didn't have a choice since he was the CEO of the program. But it's not as if he let that defense get away from him. It doesn't matter who calls the defense. It matters who organizes the defense, who creates the game plan. Did we see anything out of any of those years from Brent Pry's defenses under Marv that made you think that this was a team that was going to eventually get back to the days when Virginia Tech's defense was the complete identity of Lane Stadium? I have questions. I have questions about the new coaching staff on the offensive coordinator side. You got a guy who's a first-time play caller and developer. That concerns me a little bit. I'm not saying it can't turn out great, so I don't want people trying to say that. But I mean, you want to have an honest conversation. You want to drink the Kool-Aid and act like everything's great. There aren't any questions. That's fine. But I'm just kind of bringing up things that I've kind of looked at, and we've talked to people here on the program, and I've talked to people outside the program, and I think these are questions that are lingering around. That's why year one is such an interesting dynamic for a guy like James Franklin. He knows what it's supposed to look like. He's experienced success at the other two spots. This is his third rebuild, if you will. And look, I'm going to give Bill O'Brien his credit coming directly out of the Sandusky disaster, which James Franklin referenced a lot last Thursday at Warm Hearth for the committee. There you go, Coach Elmo. Exactly, Coach Saban. It's his defense. It was his plan every week, but the defensive coordinator called the game. So people that are wrong in a sense when they say, well, now Brent Pry only has to worry about the defense. He was his defense. Taking the head coaching part away is one element of it, but it was still his defense. Did we see toughness out of that defense? Did we see aggressiveness out of that defense over the years? I think a lot of things have to change. They've helped the personality of that defense, the physicality of it, which is what Coach Foster was mentioning. But can they become a physical unit that can dictate the line of scrimmage up front and can keep quarterbacks uneasy in the pocket? Can they stop the running game? Something Tech was not able to do. We sat there and we watched Old Dominion go through a Brent Pry defense, and there was nothing that he could call. There was nothing that he could adjust to stop anything, that quarterback, and what Ricky Ronnie wanted to do. Old Dominion almost put 50 points on a Brent Pry defense. And I know the personnel is different. But will there be a departure from that? Will the personnel be able to come together? Those are the kind of things that camp is for, guys getting stronger over the summer in August. And this is what I think James Franklin is referencing. He knows his team. He knows the potential. He just went through spring with them. Listen to what the coach says. He would not be saying it first thing, we got a heck of a lot of work to do to develop into a football team. So they've assessed the film. They've assessed every day of practice in spring. They've gotten together. They're not trying to spread rose-colored expectations. They're being honest. And I thought that was very refreshing last week from James Franklin. Yeah, I agree, Chris. The 24 team did have some guys. You're right. But they had a lot of holes. Do we ever see, during those years Brent Pry was the head coach, did we see the defense get better? Certain games, there might be one-offs against certain competition, but did we see them getting better? You can bring in guys and personnel, but it has to come together. And he's got a new staff. He's got a lot of new guys on defense. His staff. This staff is a question to me, not questioning their credentials or their abilities. I don't want people to think that. Coach Chaos has a reputation. Now, he wasn't retained at A&M, but he's coming here, and people are excited. We'll see how it turns out here. All right? All these guys coming in. I think they've got a lot of promising people in the secondary. I think the loss of J.C. Price is pretty big. How does this staff come together? It's all new. Those are questions that will get answered as the season goes along. It's not saying they can't do it, right? James Franklin didn't put together a staff expecting failure, but I think a lot has to be proven, especially with a first-time offensive coordinator and Brent Pry coming back to a place that didn't want him anymore to settle into his old role for James Franklin. Does the YouTube Premier member perks include Rick's View and Emerald Isle? We could do that. I could set up a camera and just have it on like the deck, and you could just have the ocean. Yeah, why not? Ladies and gentlemen, here's next week's shows. Seagulls stepping all over everything. That's the $9.99 membership level. Thanks for the memberships, by the way, everybody in green. Every little bit helps. But those are questions that I have that as we go along will be answered. Now, they won't get tested a lot in the first game. Old Dominion comes back. It doesn't look sexy on paper, but there's going to be a lot of motivation there, I'm sure, right? Fans especially, remember, they're going to equate that even though they lost about 90% of their starters. But the game it's going to be, I think the trigger game will be that Maryland game. Maryland and Coach Loxley, they got a lot on the line. They were going to get rid of him. It was an 11th hour meeting with his agent, and I think they looked at finances and the buyout, much like what happened with Mike Norvell at Florida State. And he gets another year. That could be the trigger game for the Terps, too. So that's a big game for both of those programs with first regime in Blacksburg and maybe the last shot for a coach to retain his position. So that, to me, is the first game that's going to determine, in my mind, what the record could look like. I think they're going to win the first two. I don't think Old Dominion's going to be a rollover, but I think the talent level and the quarterback situation and It's going to be a lot more skill out there. But I think the Maryland game, Big Ten game, on the road for the first time, that's the game for me. And I think a lot of people probably agree. And if you're going to have a really good start in the first month and a half, which they need to, with the back half being a little more difficult, we shall see. We shall see. That's a big game. It's a big game. But to me, other than the questions I have on defense and with the coaching staff, the offensive line's got to come together. It doesn't matter what kind of quarterback Ethan Grunkemeyer could be if he doesn't have time to throw it and if they can't run the football. They've got to be able to run the football, and that's what James Franklin has always done. That I like a lot. I don't know how many times I sat down with Coach Beamer on the old show. Rick, it is our absolute personality. We're going to do it every game. If we lose 12 yards on our first 6 carries, guess what? Next time we get the football, we're going to establish the line of scrimmage and figure out how to run the ball. And he usually did that. Everything they got in the passing game, everything Mike Vick was able to get, everything, all those wonderful quarterbacks that Coach Beamer had came as a product of them being able to run the football. Yeah, in that Power 4 losing streak out of conference. Exactly. That would take care of it immediately. You're 3-0, and then by then your coaches have 3 games under their belt. The new OC feels more comfortable. Brent Pry is getting back into the flow. Yeah, we talked about Coach Newsome yesterday. Very sad. Great guy. Just salt of the earth. One hell of a football coach. I don't know how many times I interviewed him. Probably a dozen times. Just the nicest, most genuine guy. Just still so relatively young too, right? Just big loss. At all levels of the state, he was such a high school influence, and Tech and JMU. I mean, he was absolutely. Rest easy, Coach. Great guy. Just a great guy. Chris, most important games: Maryland, Clemson, SMU, Miami. Yeah, once you get in the conference, I mean, it gets daunting, right? Clemson on the road, SMU on the road, Miami here. But I think it ties to Maryland in terms of the non-conference. I do. Yep, Coach Steiny will be back. They're dealing with your own situation of tragedy. They're losing the player, obviously. Yep, Coach Steiny will be back. We'll talk some Roanoke College football. We're looking so forward to that. Going to connect with Coach Foster. He will be on, I think, the week I get back from the honeymoon for the first time. So I'm going to shore that up with him. And I can't wait for that. Jack Turner's going to be on that week. If you don't know a lot about Jack, Joel Hicks' program, and we'll talk to one of those guys coming up here. I think Joel Hicks' program has 2 faces that forever will identify the Pulaski County High School program. One being Jack Turner. And folks, I don't know how to describe this, but Jack Turner could win football games by walking out for the handshake. When you saw number 33 on the field, wow. And Todd Grantham never came off the field. That's why he got pretty quick scholarship offers from a lot of folks and chose to play at Virginia Tech. Look up if you go and look some of the images of Todd Grantham in his Virginia Tech uniform. So Todd and Jack, to me, personified Joel Higgs. And, and Jack was saying this yesterday. We were coached by a college staff. It was the hardest. We were not coached like a high school team. I thought it was a great point. And I had never thought about it. He was running down the staff. Coach Hicks brought so many of those guys from West Virginia with him. Yeah, Miami's on the road. You're right. I said they were at home. Yeah, you're right. Miami's on the road too. So, yeah, all three of those games. Wow. Yeah. So we'll talk about these things with Jack. You're going to enjoy that. Thanks to Travis Williams. He kind of kept reminding me the professional door. Hey, man, you got to get Jack. Jack was just in for the golf tournament up there. You'll enjoy that. You all will enjoy that tremendously. So we got a lot coming up here on the program. Don't forget about the new show with Dwight Vick. Victory from the Tunnel. Can't wait for that. We announced that we're going to have Blacksburg football here. So we're growing. It amazes me that all this is happening within the first year. We're not even in for year one. I owe it all to you. I owe it all to our sponsors. And I feel like I am the least factor in the success of the program. But you know what? That's the way it's supposed to be. So we got a lot of great things happening. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can continue to build through here. But thanks to everybody. With all the great things coming up with Coach Steinspring and Coach Foster, football and Dwight, it's good time. But I owe it all to you folks. We're crushing our metrics every week. YouTube, the rewatches that we get, people go back and watch. It shows 2.5 hours. We're watching for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's crazy. So thank you. Todd Grantham coming up in just a little bit. Joining us now, talk about Hall of Famers. It's that gentleman. It's David Teal. David, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Rick.
How are you been? How you been, man? Everything good? I know you've been. When's the trip? You've got a great trip. When is that coming up?
Friday morning.
Friday morning. Well, I'm going to be on my honeymoon next week, so I won't bother you.
Congratulations, man.
Saturday. I know, right? It's happening Saturday.
That's awesome. Congrats to you and your bride and
Cajun girl, Louisiana girl down at the boot, the heel of the boot.
Where are you going on the honeymoon?
Well, I was going to ask you, Emerald Island. Have you been there on the coast? You go to a lot of places. I've never been there. Bud Foster said it was a terrific spot. So
I have not been.
Okay. Well, I'll let everybody know. So we got a lot going on, man. A lot going on. And obviously big news out of Virginia Tech yesterday. Your thoughts on the things you're hearing? I mean, I think Tim Sands called it a metamorphosis, David, and I think that's probably a good term, right?
Well, it's just striking, Rick, when you think about the last 10 months at Virginia Tech. Actually, maybe even more like 8. You go back to Witt's presentation to the board last August, and then the board's approval in September of the $229 million, then Brent Pry's dismissal, James Franklin falling into their lap, and then subsequent retirements of Tim Sands and Whit Babcock, and now the formation of Hokie Ventures, which may strike some, and understandably so, is kind of business inside baseball minutia, but it is a way for Virginia Tech to become, at least in its mind, more nimble financially when it comes to compensating its athletes. And that's key in this hyper-competitive era, especially in football.
and it's not going to go away. It's a professional business model now. I mean, we're not going back. So it's excited a lot of people. I know we've heard of it from today. I mean, people are excited, and you're right. It's amazing to see the mindset that was in place and the things not being done, and how it's just the lid has been taken off, and it's in a lot of ways it's bizarre, but in a good way that it's happened like this.
Well, and not only that, Rick, you look on the recruiting front, and I don't pretend to follow the daily machinations there and who's visiting and such. But when I talked to James Franklin last week in Richmond, and then you just look at the rankings, and Virginia Tech, as of right now, and signing day is a long ways away. They got to keep these cats in the fold who have committed, and that's always a challenge. But right now, the Hokies are tracking toward a top 10 recruiting class, which would be unprecedented in Blacksburg. You know, Frank Beamer in his prime was running a developmental program. Now, did he get some studs? Absolutely. He got Tyrod and he got Michael Vick and such. But for the most part, he was taking under-recruited guys and developing them into all-conference and all-Americans and NFL draft choices.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And for the first time last Thursday, I had a chance to actually sit down, meet, and I was the moderator for James Franklin with the Q&A with business leaders here in Montgomery County at the Chamber event. And I know you've talked to him before. You just talked to him again last week. There's no doubt that, I don't know how best to describe it. There's nothing going to surprise him, but there's nothing that's going to tell him that things can't be done. Is that right? I mean, he knows what it's supposed to look like coming from a blue blood, and he's got there and he's taking people around Merriman and explaining what have we done? We don't even have our own building. What do we, it's interesting, but I tell you, it's exactly, and you've said this before here on the program perfectly, at least for now, he's the exact right guy, isn't he, to have in that position?
He pushes and he pushes, and he will continue to do so. And we saw it Monday in Deputy AD Danny White's presentation to the board, where he showed them a slide of all the current investments going on through this Invest to Win fund. And about 2/3 to 70% of that money right now, about $21 million, is being spent on James Franklin's football team, be it personnel and budgetary enhancements, or LED lights for the stadium, or the new scoreboard for the stadium, or the redone hallway for the recruiting center there at the Merriman. They are as I forget which one. It was either Danny or probably Brandon Hall, the CFO for the athletic department, said, we're going 100 miles an hour. And that's the only speed James Franklin knows.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, I don't sleep. He says, I'm one of those guys, I've never needed to sleep much. So I'm up. When I tell you I'm up at 2 or 3 a.m. and I'm making notes and I'm making plans, I am doing that. It's just, he said, my wife's had to get used to it, but that's just the way he is. And I see that. The energy is legitimate from that guy. And he's rebuilt twice. We talked about that. And this is a rebuild, and he's eager to make it 3 for 3. And boy, and you said this, that chip on his shoulder is legitimate, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, he's some kind of ticked off about how it ended at Penn State, and eager to prove some folks wrong when it comes to not only his ability to run a program, but to coach and win championships. And now, we'll see if he can produce.
I've known Brandon Hall. He was at Radford for a while. And what he did at Clemson, I thought it was interesting. I wanted to get your take when he's talked about how the AD position is not going to be split, as it kind of looked like when they announced all this, but he's going to sit on the Hokie Ventures board, right? I thought that was a very interesting nugget that came out from Brandon yesterday.
Brandon was ground floor, Rick, when Clemson did Clemson Ventures, which is not exactly what Virginia Tech is doing, but is similar. And yes, there will be a 9-member board for Hokie Ventures, 4 of them ex officio from Virginia Tech. The AD among them, Tom Womble, the university VP for development. He will also sit on the board, as will a member of the Board of Visitors and someone else, TBA. Then there will be 5 independent members of the board. And that's the key here. This is an independent entity, and that's what makes it advantageous to Virginia Tech, because when the College Sports Commission is looking at NIL deals, they frown upon associate entities bankrolling these things.
Mm-hmm.
And as an independent, Hokie Ventures is going to have some cover.
Well, it all sounds really, really good right now. It seems like that the awareness has just turned on over the last year, and you wonder why it didn't happen before to this point. But boy, I tell you what, it's going to happen now, and we'll see. But he's got to win, right? He's got to go out there and produce now, and there'll be more pressure on him to do that. But you know what? He's fine with that, right? He's absolutely fine with that. So.
No, he understands. Heck, he just got fired less than a month or less than a year after making the CFP semifinals.
Right.
James Franklin is accustomed to expectations. He was at Penn State for 11 plus seasons, so he gets it. And it's pretty obvious, Rick, what triggered all this. And that is the fear nationwide, really, among schools, not only in the ACC, but also in the Big 12 and some even in the SEC in Big 10, who think there's going to be, in some way, shape, or form, a reconfiguration of major college football within the next 5 to 7 years.
Right.
And everybody wants a seat at the grown-ups table. Nobody wants to be relegated to the kids' table in the den. And that's the motivation. That's the play here.
Well, along those lines, yesterday, the Big Ten, the SEC, they came out, their statement against this Protect College Sports Act. It's not going to be passed. They look like they're still leading the way, even though the SEC seems to be the only one that's not going to, at least for now, agree to the 2014 playoff. What were some of your thoughts about that reaction from them? And, are we ever going to have any kind of legislation that you think can come down? Maybe not from the top, but within the whole environment of college athletics.
Call me skeptical.
Me too.
Especially when it comes to Congress in an election year. I just don't see it happening. And the SEC and Big Ten's objection, in a joint statement, by the way, is hardly surprising, since the bill has specific provisions that target those two conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And they say any conference that generated more than $1 billion in revenue in FY 2025 cannot expand. Well, gee, which two conferences are those?
That's right.
And then to say that those two conferences can't merge, there's no way the Big Ten and SEC are going to say, sure, let's have at this legislation. Might there be some compromise? One would think, but the more interesting thing to me is whether they can come to agreement on the CFP expansion. And we'll know much more about that later this month when the commissioners gather in Denver and hear from their media consultants about what the projections are from the networks about how much a 2014 playoff is worth. And does that make up for the lost revenue from conference championship games?
Yeah, it was. I thought about you because it was 2 weeks ago on the show. You said, well, Rick, the SEC is going to stomp their feet because that championship game was about $100 million profitability. And sure enough, it was Sankey led off a press conference the other day. He quoted them like, well, there you go. We already had that, and that you're right. That's their chief concern, isn't it? Trying to make up that money that would be lost if they have to abolish that game. So
correct. And not just $101 million. If they're going to lose that game, they're going to want to make considerably more.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. How much more? Not only going to, don't just make up what we're going to lose. How much more are we going to make on top of it? So it's all very interesting. Did you ever expect this even 5 years ago, as long as you've covered college sports?
No, it's a daily circus, and that's what keeps us all going. provides content. There is no off season. Hasn't been one really since COVID, and the competition can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, get to the games, right?
No, in a lot of ways it's invigorating, but in other ways it's exhausting.
Right. Well, and for a lot of folks, they just don't want to deal with this, man. You do a great job. You've done this for so long. You've seen the evolution, but you've always understood the evolution of it, right? It's never going to stay the same. And boy, it seems like we've skipped a couple billion years of evolution in college sports the last 3 years, but you're there every day, man. It's impressive how it really is. So I got to ask before we go about Coach Newsom.
Oh, man.
Terrible loss. What a great, great man he was.
Rick, this hit our family hard.
I'm sure.
My wife attended Kecoughtan High School when Kurt was coaching there, and knows so many people who adored the man and played for him. And Coach worked at a time where high school football in these parts was stunningly good and had coaches with huge personalities. Bill D at Phoebus, Mike Smith at Hampton, Tommy Riemann at Warwick, Dennis Kozlowski at Bethel when he was coaching Bubba Chuck. And Kurt was this low-key anecdote to that. He was always kind of above the fray, and he could laugh at them and laugh at himself.
Yep.
And he was just a wonderful man, and went on, of course, to coach at James Madison and Virginia Tech, and then as the head coach at his alma mater for a decade. And he fought that pancreatic cancer so hard and for as long as he could. And he will be missed.
Very few guys have their thumbprint on the entire state, as you mentioned, from every level than Coach Newsom, right? Just amazing. Terrible loss. I was fortunate to interview him, I don't know, 10 or 12 times throughout, our crossing paths. Just every time you're just more impressed with him. So what a tragic loss. But,
salt of the earth, Rick.
Absolutely. Well, David, great stuff, man. And remind people you're going on I love what you and your family are doing. This tour you're taking out west.
Headed to the Dakotas and Montana and Wyoming. Going to do the Badlands and Mount Rushmore and Teddy Roosevelt National Park, Devil's Tower. Going to strap up those hiking boots and get out in nature, man. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Well, have a blast. Stay safe. I know you will. I can't wait to share stories. You can tell me about what it looked at the Dakotas. I can tell you about Emirate.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the honeymoon. Congrats again.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Stay safe, man. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
Hey, thanks, David. There you go. David Teal, the Hall of Famer. I'd love to do all that. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Just to walk around in the woods. We don't hear from our Montana guy anymore. What was his name? Robert? Was it Robert? We miss Robert. Robert. Maybe he's been captured by Bigfoot. It's possible. Great stuff. And I knew David Teal would be able to say it much better than me about Coach Newsom, and he just did that. Great stuff. Hoping my small anonymous donation, 50 million helps. Well, congratulations to you, man. Congratulations to you. Oh, that's a good one. Travis Williams, the man from Professional. I'm going to save that, Trav. That's a good one. You know what? When I get back from the honeymoon, Trav, I'm going to use it. Travis just sent me our next BDST fan question of the week, brought to you by the attorney, Ryan Pry. I'm going to table that for now, but that's great. That's why Professional Door Incorporated is awesome, because of great ideas from Travis Williams. Thanks to Keon and Damian and to David Teal before he heads out west. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. I told you today was loaded. Look at this guy. We got the defensive coordinator of the UAB Blazers, Todd Grantham. What's up, Coach? How are you, brother?
Hey, bud. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
It's supposed to be hump day, man, but I still got 5 more straight days. And then it's like rinse and repeat, man. So we rolling.
We've been talking about you a lot this week, man.
Oh, yeah?
I got to visit yesterday with Jack Turner for 45 minutes, and we talked about Todd Grantham yesterday. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Right side, left side.
Oh, my Lord. Well, you know, I say this with the utmost respect and truth. To me, there are 2 faces of Joel Hicks' program.
Yeah.
It's this guy, and it's Jack Turner.
Yeah.
Right? When I saw you two on the field, and I'm just this lowly little sophomore, just grateful to be on the travel team, hoping I don't get my head knocked off every day practice. But when you guys were on the field, you felt like everything was okay, and everybody else was just scared to death. All the other opponents were just scared to death.
A lot of the things, I mean, today I still have a lot of my coaching philosophies from Coach Hicks. I mean, the way you build players up, and, you know, we worked our ass off. I mean, we'd go in that field house, man, lock that door, and it'd be sweating in there, put the mats out in the locker room, and be rolling around for an hour. And, you know, it instilled toughness in you, but you still got to have the day. And, you know, just the quality of coaches he had around him, too. I mean, Coach Flincham, Coach Reese. I mean, there was Don Skeen. I mean, like, there were just so many guys. And, you know, we had a great core, including yourself and Jack and, you know, Ricky Finley, Terry Finley. I mean, there were just so many dudes, you know, Ron Frank. I mean, like, you know, Eric Berry. I mean, that just goes to show you what you think of those guys, that you just bring that up to me right now. And I start naming guys off because you live with those guys for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And you went through a lot of tough stuff together and got through it, but you won a lot of ball games, you know, and I still to this day use Coach Hicks's philosophy is that's how I build my players. I mean, it's still instilled in me on how you do it. And that's the way you develop players. I mean, there's no secret sauce. I mean, we live in a world now where entitlement's up there, but I'll be honest with you, the real good ones, they want to get coached, but you just got to get through the layer of, you know, nowadays you got the money, obviously, but look, you like that check? Well, let me get you more. You know what I mean? You kind of got to play with it. Like you can't fight it because it's there, but it's like, how do we create more value in you? Well, here's what we got to do. So that's the part I like about our guys right here, man. These guys right now, like Monday and Tuesday, we were able to work our ass off and do some good stuff. Today's that recovery day. I think we were talking about it one time where it's an off day today and they're recovering and, you know, they got, I don't know, they do all these not rehab, but, you know, stretches and saunas and stuff like that to recover their body. And then there's 2 more days of work on Thursday and Friday. So we'll get back at it that way. And then, of course, we got official visits coming in on Friday and we'll be rolling, man.
Well, and, you know, one more point about you mentioned the coaching staff that we grew up with. Jack made the point yesterday. Those were college coaches. Those were guys that Coach Hicks brought from West Virginia. Yes, Morris, he was on the staff with Nick Saban at West Virginia. What a great staff, by the way, that staff picture. But we got coached like a college team, didn't we? That's what right. It was.
Yeah, we got coached like a college team. And really, the thing that I always took from it is the way we drove ourselves and pushed ourselves. When we got it to the fourth quarter, we were going to beat your ass. Because like between the weight room and the conditioning that we had done, if we got you to the fourth quarter, we were going to get you. So, and that's why we won, like, I think it was 27 games in a row at one point. And, so there's no secret sauce. It's still the same today. You just got to get through some of the entitlement that's out there.
Well, and about your group, you mentioned this when you were recruiting them, and you said this a couple of times, that these are guys who want to get after it because they want to be better, not necessarily just for the financial benefit, as you remind them. And I think it's the perfect way you have to approach it today. But you said that was really stood out from this group. So when they have an off day today, they appreciate it, they need it, but they're probably like, man, I can't wait to get back out there, right? To continue the development for another week.
To give an example, like, our guys are out of the building by 11:30, 12 o'clock every day, because we do things in the morning. Well, last night I was there till about 6:30, and one of my linebackers was out on his own going through some change of direction drills. And he does that all the time. I mean, you always see a guy out there. So our guys are working hard. So I like our mindset, and you got to have that. It's one thing to be an athlete, but you got to develop yourself into a football player. And part of developing yourself into a player is having that mental toughness, that grit, that grind. And that really goes to all sports, but particularly football.
Yeah. Yeah. The grind is the thing. It's not, you hear about it a lot, but you have to live it. You have to live it to get better. And it sounds like your guys are so bought in. And I think that's what you've talked about. That's what Coach Mortensen kind of brings, that expectation to the table every day, right? I mean,
yeah. Coach Mortensen does a really good job as far as laying out the foundation of the plan that we got based upon the type of, like, for now we're in June, which is kind of what OTAs, where you're lifting and training, you get a little bit of football work, but you can study on your own, and then you become a better student of the game. You can also become a better fundamental player, and he just kind of lays that plan out for him, and then basically come August we'll give him a new plan. So you kind of give them a plan based upon the phase that you're in, and that's where we are right now. So it's all good. We're grinding away, and now we got this recruiting thing coming up. The one thing I'll say about recruiting is the quality of players available now is much higher. Meaning, like, if you just look, there's better players available for most people, and that's because a lot of guys are choosing not to recruit high school guys, and they're going to wait for the portal to go get their guys. So what happens is there's better quality players available for everybody. They just moved up because there's less people trying to get the guys at the top.
That makes sense.
They're choosing to wait to get to the portal for that scholarship, okay, and that roster spot. So because of that, there's better quality players available for everybody right now. And the other thing that's happened is sometimes guys will fall through the cracks, and there's no June portal per se, right? Now, or not, but spring portal, I should say. Well,
right.
What's happened now is like a lot of guys, particularly big guys, would go JUCO. Well, they went JUCO because they really didn't have the offers, and they could be a year behind or something, right? So they would go JUCO for 1 to 2 years, and then all of a sudden you would pull a guy from junior college. It's a little different. Like, it used to be guys went to JUCO just for, like, they couldn't get accepted into a 4-year school. Well, now everybody can get accepted, to be honest with you, the way it's set up now with the NCAA rules. It's very hard not to be accepted. So going to JUCO now is more for development. And with big guys, for example, I was telling you, I had a guy that I was on, and he had played 1 year, and he is really a qualifier, and we offered him, had him set up, and then after he posted that he was coming to us, he had 5 SEC offers, and he's out, right? Well, what I actually saw, that ain't the only situation, because everybody's looking for big guys. You never can have enough big guys. There's a lot of guys in the JUCO world that were actually eligible, played 1 year at JUCO, and people are now just taking a shot on them. Meaning we have guys set up. We have a list of guys, and it was like, okay, we would recruit this guy, bring him in December, right? Because he's going to play his second year. He's already eligible. We're going to bring him in his second year. Well, because guys have a need for big people right now, whether it's injury, lack of depth, want to get somebody else to develop, those guys are now going to Power Fours, because that's their transfer portal. In other words, they're just taking them in the spring as opposed to taking them in December. and everything. So that's shifted a little bit in recruiting too. But anyway, we got a big weekend coming up. We got to figure out who we want and how we get them and all that kind of stuff and go from there. Because the interesting thing is about the recruiting thing is, only 15 to 20% of recruits actually play their first year.
Right.
And therefore the key is going to be year 2, your retention. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, now that they're there, this whole recruiting thing's over. They're in the day-to-day activity. Do they feel like you're developing them? Do they feel like you have a vision for them? Where do they feel like they're at on the depth chart? And those kind of things. So that's going to be the challenge moving forward, with the young guys. And the other thing on that is with the new rule coming into play where it's going to be 5 for 5, play everybody. I mean, like we used to not play, like we wouldn't play a guy just for special teams per se, because let's say he played 12 plays a game. Okay. Well, you didn't want to waste the kid's year for those 12 plays. Well, now he's got 5 for 5 and that's it. So if he can help you play 12 snaps of special teams, or if he can be a core special teams guy, put him on the field and play him, because you're going to lose him anyway. I mean, he's only got 5 years. It doesn't matter. And I think that'll change a little bit. The special teams aspect of the game is being able to play young guys earlier, because there's no reason not to. I mean, you're still going to have the 70. Like once you get into conference play, it's capped at 70, but that's a lot of guys. So you're still going to have 70 guys available, and but those guys that you would normally redshirt can now pull into the special teams phase of it, because when you're 5 for 5, it doesn't matter how many plays you played. You got 5 years and that's it. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
On our professional door text line, David asked a question. You've mentioned this in the past, but I'll let you answer it. He's talking about now that you've been at the highest level in the NFL and obviously the SEC. You're here now, and it's about your new position, and you're excited about being at UAB. But how do you approach guys? Because you've said it, you've already answered it, but I don't think David's heard you. But guys, a lot of these guys, not all, but a lot are coming there, like you said, to get improved. You've already mentioned it, to tell them you want to get to your next money level, let me develop you. You've embraced this full throttle, and I think it's great. Thanks, David, for the question.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, generally speaking, players want to know, how are you going to play them? So what's your vision? So I think the biggest thing is to say, here's the things you do well, and be able to show them on tape. Okay. Here's the things you do well. Here's some things that we can work on, and maybe showing some things that we can work on, because if we work on those things, we can improve your value. Okay. So that's one from a developmental phase. And then the next thing is, okay, here's our system. Here's how we play. Here are the positions I see you playing. In other words, I don't like to pigeonhole myself into the guy can only play one spot.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if he's a difference maker, he's going to play that spot. Then it gets into, okay, how am I going to move you around, like I did Jarvis Jones when he was at Georgia and he had 28 sacks in 2 years. How are we going to move you around? Okay, he did the same thing with DeMarcus at Dallas. So you show that aspect of it. So I think the biggest thing is showing the things they do well, but being honest with them. Here are the things you got to work on and improve based upon what I see. And then it's, what is our vision for you and how we're going to play you and where you fit within our system. And then what the depth chart looks like. Okay. Because to say that you're the only guy we're recruiting is not fair, because they know you're recruiting other guys. Here's how I see you fitting in. And I think it's just, you be upfront with guys. You just got to be upfront. You got to compete, and you got to understand coming in how you are. So, I think that's the biggest thing with it. And then the critical factor is always being honest in your coaching. Just tell them when they're doing well, and then tell them when they need to improve. And if you do that, guys will cling to you and they'll work. I mean, Coach Hicks was hard on us. I mean, he would tell you, he would tell you, but he also loved you up too. It was a little bit more of a hard love type atmosphere. But at the end of the day, you respected him, and he knew that you had your best interest at heart. And to be honest with you, I carried the same thing into pro football, because in pro football, and really it's like that now in college, there is no difference. But in pro ball, when I was there, if a guy felt that you could help him improve and extend his career or create more value for him, he'd do anything you ask him to do. So it's really no different in college now. So the difference between college and pro is not very, very big now. They're just a little bit older and mature. I think the biggest thing that happens is is sometimes high school guys may think they have all the answers because they've had so much success. They get to college and it's like, oh, there's competition, right? And then they got to hone in on the little things and the grind and the work. And once you get that instilled in them, to be honest with you, it's no different than coaching an NFL guy.
How has the trust developed with this new group as you've gone along? I know you talked about that. So important, right? Guys that you can, trust not only to be the kind of players, but as kind of people when you have conversations with them or when you ask them questions. How has that developed with this new group?
Yeah, our guys have learned our system as far as, what words mean and those kind of things. And then, the identity I always tell them is coming from you. I mean, we want to be a fast, physical, aggressive defense, but that really is instilled by how you practice every day. It doesn't just happen on Saturdays. You got to go compete, and you got to compete every day. And look, we're going to screw up. I'm going to screw up. You're going to screw up. And I'll point it out. Like I may end there, and sometimes I'll do it on purpose. Like, hey, man, this is on me. This ain't a great call. But if this happens, this is the way it's got to be. In other words, like when I call this play or this coverage, we have to take this away. Okay, for example, let's say we're playing quarters, which is a form of cover 4, and number 1 runs an outside cut. Okay, well, to the corner, look, if he throws that and they complete it, that's on me. That's on the call. You just cannot get beat inside. Now, if they throw a post, that's on you. So they got to understand the concepts of the call. And hey, everybody's got to take ownership. And I think where you can make a mistake as a coach is not taking ownership yourself, in that and everything. So I think that's important. And I think it's also important that you meet together because like the D line doesn't really know what the secondary is doing, just like the secondary doesn't know what the D line's doing. So I think it's good to show like good plays in the back end and good plays in the front end. So now that you get that respect. Because once you get that respect, you get a little bit more closeness. Like guys respect good players, and if they see guys working hard. But I also think that you need to call out the plays that aren't very good. And when I say not very good, meaning things that have to do with lack of physicality or lack of effort, those plays. So, and just be honest, say, is that the best you can do? And if it's no, then what's the problem? And then sometimes you can ask a leader, say, hey, do you think that's the right way to play? And put it on the players too, So I think as much as you can get within or put on the players, the better. But I think everybody in the room, coaches and players included, got to take ownership in how you progress as a defense.
Mike on the text line. Really, Mike? Mike says, hey, I'm a Blazer grad. Hey, you got an alumni chiming in.
Awesome, man. We're branching out.
He says, I'll be there opening night when you guys play Illinois. He goes, when do you start working on your first opponent? When does Illinois start to become a thought process? Thanks, Mike. Go Blazers.
So what I did during the season or during the month of May, as far as we had recruiting and all that, but also worked on our first 3 opponents and like things that are new, like Navy, worked on them. Obviously, Memphis is a good team in our league. We worked on them, South Florida. So you're going to look at all those teams out the summer and get a feel for those guys. There's a lot of carryover offensively in college football as far as same as teams, right? So you kind of want to get your core developed and installed between now and say training camp. And then once training camp comes in, then you start over again, and then you're really starting to the physicality of the components of that game plan or the things that you're playing. And then really about 10 days out is plenty of time. I mean, you don't want to spend too much time on Illinois because that's one game. We got a whole season. So we'll kind of look at things that people do that maybe are a little different, and then we'll have periods within like August where we might work on something specific, like unbalanced. Like we'll take 2 days and work on Navy because of their option. We'll do that. Tempo. Our offense will try to give us tempo so we can work on that. Memphis actually has the Old Dominion guy, and they hired him. So like I kind of looked at that. There's a couple wrinkles that they had, so you'd have to look at that and be prepared for that because they do a good job offensively as well. So really, it's more working on schemes that you're going to see throughout the year, and then once you get into the week, you would start preparing. But because it's the first game, you may add 2 extra days to it, and that's it.
Well, and you brought up a great point. It's been probably a month or two about how the levels might be different conferences, but you see a lot of teams aren't really that different, right? You see the same type of offense. It's the same stuff.
It's the Jimmys and Joes. Like when I was at Florida and we had Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Trask set every record there was, and there'd be 3 dudes around the guy. And he'd catch the ball. I mean, what you want to do? I mean, we went to play Ole Miss in Lane Kiffin, and Kyle Pitts must have had 4 touchdown passes, and they had him double teamed every time. One time, I think they had 3 guys on him, and he went up over it. I mean, and then you get a confidence level. So Trask had a confidence I'm throwing it to Pitts. I don't care. Y'all can put all 11 dudes over there. I'm gonna throw it to Pitts. And that's why he ended up being a first round pick. But I mean, it's really about Jimmys and Joes at that point. Now, what you try to do is structurally take things away, and then how do I take away your best players? You have that. You do have that component of it, but the plays themselves, there aren't a lot of different plays, to be honest with you.
Who's the guy you remember, Coach, in the collegiate game that when you were scheming, you had to say, is there somebody that still stands out maybe in your SEC days where you could go, we got to make sure this guy doesn't just break our backs? Was there one guy that still you think about that was really a problem?
Yeah, Jamar Chase was pretty. I mean, the 1 year LSU, every guy on they're kind of like Ohio State's defense this year. LSU had every guy drafted, and the only thing when you say, well, everybody on our offense was drafted, but they were all drafted in the first 2 rounds. I mean, it was Burrow, it was Chase. I mean, the running back went to Kansas City. He didn't have a great career, but he was good. I mean, everybody on their offense was drafted. Just like this year, defensively at Ohio State, I mean, those guys were unreal. But that's what $22 million will get you. So, you can handle that too.
So Jamar Chase, that was the one guy?
Yeah. Jamar Chase was a really talented guy.
Yeah. They had Chase and Jefferson on the same team, didn't they?
They had Jefferson. They had Chase and Jefferson. Exactly right. But Chase was really good.
It made Burrow's job, kind of like what you're saying about Trask, kind of made Burrow's job the same thing.
He just going to throw it up. They're going to catch the ball. It doesn't matter, right? So those guys were really good.
So, you mentioned the day off today. So, how will you guys get after it the rest of the week to finish up here this week?
Yeah, so basically our guys will lift in the morning, and then we'll have a small segment of football where they'll be in classroom, and you get to do some on-the-field change of direction stuff and a little bit of, walkthroughs. We'll do that Thursday, Friday, and then they're off on Friday, Saturday on their own. And then come Friday, we'll have recruits in, and we have all that. But then on Thursday afternoon, we actually still have another camp. And one thing is interesting is the location of Birmingham, the amount of people that come to camp is we had the mega camp on Sunday, and we had 715 people show up, which was quite, honestly, it's the most when I was at Georgia, we had dog night, in July. And then when I was at Florida, we had Friday night lights in the stadium, and those were really good camps, but they were still probably 550, 600 people.
Wow.
I mean, this was a Sunday afternoon in Birmingham, Alabama, in the middle of the day for a mega camp, and there were 715 kids that showed up. So it wasn't that much. We had one yesterday that was probably 250, 300, and there'll be another 250, 300 on Thursday. So we'll have that tomorrow too. So they're long days right now, but it's fun. It's particularly being with the players. That's the funnest part, is being around those guys and developing them and watching them grow. And it's funny because now we're into it's really the 3rd time we've done things. It's oh yeah, I know that, or oh yeah, that's because of this, or the adjustments and things like that. So that's when you can tell guys are growing. So we just got to keep working and putting our best foot forward and seeing what happens.
Yeah, it's like you building a new massive building structure. You're putting in the parts every day. You don't have to worry about going back and rebuilding that level. You're moving to the next one, and that's what you do with these players. You're building the structure with the language, with the schemes, and they're going to come out and go, okay, know that part. Now what's next, right? That next addition to the wing, if you will.
You can always tell how much guys know by the chatter and the talk, meaning a silent defense is a dead defense. I mean, if the guys aren't saying anything, that's because, oh shit, what are we doing? Guys don't know. But if guys are all talking, pre-snap, alert this or whatever, now okay, there's anticipation. Because you got to anticipate, okay, man, this is the call. What's our adjustment if this star man motion guy goes? How are we handling that? Things like that. So that's when guys start talking and chattering, that's when you know that they kind of understand what's going on in the concepts.
We'll let you go. Morris says, Todd, we can teach you something for a change. I'm sure I think I know the answer to this. He says, have you ever had gator bites and tuna tips?
So I've actually had gator bites and they're fine. Okay. I've had tuna tips in like I've had nachos with tuna. That's pretty good. They're pretty good. So I kind of came out of my Pulaski roots and had both of them. And I can say I kind of enjoyed them both. So,
yeah.
You don't get many of those in the New River Valley. You know what I'm saying?
No. Well, Morris is in Florida. That's why he's asking that question.
Yeah. That's like a staple in Florida, man. They're really good. I remember the first time I had gator bites, like, okay. And then the tuna took a minute because I had to get over the fact that they weren't fully cooked, because that would be like one of my dad's things. My dad's like, I'm not eating any fish unless it's fried in grease. That was a new rule. Right? So anyway, it took me a minute, but I'll be honest with you, they were really good. And so I've expanded my horizon a little bit out of the county, man.
Well, I like it. Well, Mike Burner raves about them, so he's kind of got us talking about it. So there you go.
Yeah, they are good.
All right, good stuff, brother. Thanks for the questions, everybody, for Coach Grantham. Enjoy the rest of your week, man. It sounds great. Everybody's so excited. They ask me all the time how you feel about the team. It's fun. He's having a great time. I know you are. You love this, don't you? You love this development.
It's good, man. Just because with where I am in my career, I mean, like, obviously you want to compete, but I see that I can help some of these guys, and they're going to help us. Look, they're going to play, and we're going to be much improved. And but it's a two-way street. I mean, they got goals for themselves. So my job is to work my tail off, and our coaches to work their tails off to develop these guys to the best of their ability. And their job is to play their ass off and compete and let us play as a team and give a product that everybody's excited about. So that's kind of what we're working for.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And you get to work for a great guy like Coach Mortensen, too. So that's
awesome. Really good guy. Awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, I know you'll close out the week strong, and I look forward to talking with you again. Well, I won't talk to you next week. I'm honeymooning next week.
Oh, man. Congratulations, man.
Saturday. Well, you might have been there. Emerald Island?
Yeah, I know what's that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's on the South Carolina border, right?
Yeah, it's on that. Yeah, that coastal area.
That's a cool spot.
Okay.
That's a cool spot. Yeah, I'm actually I'm going to a place near there this summer with my family, a place called Ballhead Island. So I'm gonna go there, but that's in that same area. So yeah, it's really cool. You'll enjoy it there. You get some. You might even get gator bites and some tuna tips there.
I'm gonna look for both. Absolutely, it might be the first night.
There you go.
All right, man. We'll talk again soon. Take care of yourself.
All right, bud. Take care. See you.
Thanks,
Bye.
man. There you go. Todd Grantham. Number 53, by the way. People asking. Number 53 for the Pulaski County Cougars. We had 53 and 33. That was our identity. Todd Grantham, who never came off the field, and Jack Turner. So happy for Todd. You can see, you think about it. He's been at the highest level, man. He's coached NFL championship teams. DeMarcus Ware credited him in his Hall of Fame speech. And now he's been in the SEC. He's been at all these places in college, and he's at a place now in his career, like you said, he's just enjoying this level, and this is a totally different aspect of his career. He's always been at, power schools or in the NFL, and he chose this path, and you can just see it, man. He's having a blast. I'm so happy for him, and that program is going to be so much better in their development. They're redeveloping that program because it got the institution demolished it. Took it away a few years ago, and they brought it back by fan demand. Looks like he's saying, having 700 kids out there for a camp. Common sense prevailed with new leadership at the school, and they're still building back. And I know how excited he is. And we're just to be able to come inside of that is really cool. And I hope everybody, I know you do, appreciates that look inside, because it's not unlike what's happening at Tech or UVA or Georgia or Texas, wherever. It's just similar. Everything's got the same bits, if you will. It's just how you fill in the bits. All right, great stuff today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I know I did. All our guests with Keon and Damien and David Teal and now Coach Grantham. What a great Wednesday, man. That gets you over the hump. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. We'll be back tomorrow on the Thursday edition. Obviously, David Smith, our NFL guru. We got a lot to unpack with Myles Garrett, I think, and A.J. Brown. We'll get into that with him. Andy Bitter from Tech Sideline, and Dwight Vick. We'll see what else might develop. Everybody take care. Thanks again for chiming in. Great chat as always. Thanks to our sponsors who we mentioned a lot today. And again, thanks for the messages on our professional door text line, McClellan Chat. You make the mornings every morning. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take